Vanity and Violence, True Crime in Virginia, where we talk about skincare over 50 and true crime in Virginia. I'm your host, Cece, and if you're new here, this is Vanity and Violence, True Crime in Virginia. Trigger warning for tonight. Please note that tonight's case is graphic and violent. Tonight's case is one that haunted Virginia between the years of 1986 and 1989. So while we get started with my base routine, we're going to talk about something that connects this case to skincare in a way you might not expect. Because some damage builds quietly, destructively. I'm using Kapari, and it's a moisture whipped ceramide cream. And as I'm pressing it into my skin, you don't want to wipe. Your skin's not a road map, right? I want you to remember that after 50, your skin doesn't recover the same way that it used to. It's thinner, and it produces less collagen, and it shows accumulated damage from all the years that you abused it as a teenager, or, just neglected it. I did. And honestly, I just started really paying attention to my skin as I got older. And when I say as I got older, I'm talking probably when I hit 50. I was like, oh my God, old. I also used this Fenty Skin, and it's called Thick and Smooth, and I use this around my eyes. Stuff's great. Again, you don't want to abuse that, right? You just want to very lightly press that in. And I have a mirror right here because looking into your camera is not the same as looking into your mirror. So if you see me doing that, that's what I'm doing. We're going to get to the case, I promise. And because we are 50 years and over, our skin is very dry. So you want to use, this is called Purlisse, and it's Glow Revival Facial Oil. Yeah, and I don't know if you can see that, but I don't put this all over my face. I have been just using it under my eyes. I'm right here. It's great. It has made a world of difference in my fine lines. And it's not like you think in oil. It's not going to make your skin greasy. It's not like that. Now I'm going to put on my primer, and we're going to let that sit while we talk about the case. And the primer is this CoverGirl True Blend. And it's Skin Enhancer Primer Base in Velvet Blur. It's number 20. It does great covering up all your pores. I really like it. It's great for a drugstore product. And you kind of just want to let that set in with your moisturizers. Okay. Let's begin. Colonial Parkway case. It's a story about accumulation, patterns, time, evidence that didn't reveal itself immediately. The Colonial Parkway is a scenic 23-mile parkway in Virginia connecting historic sites like Jamestown, Yorktown, and Williamsburg. It's peaceful, quiet, some would even say romantic, which is what made what happened there so disturbing. Between 1986 and 1989, at least 11 young people were murdered in what investigators believe are connected cases. The first known victims were a young couple, 21-year-old Rebecca Dowski and 27-year-old Kathy Thomas. Their car was found abandoned along the parkway in October of 1986. Their bodies were discovered days later. Becky was in the back seat of the car and Kathy was found in the hatchback. They had been nearly decapitated. And even though their bodies were covered in diesel fuel, they had not been set on fire. So obviously, that was the intention, was to set them on fire. But that's where the patterns begin. I'm blending Misha, which is my favorite, and Joa Crystal Glow together. This one's a full coverage. The other one's a BB cream. Over the next 3 years, more couples were found. On September 23rd, 1987, 20-year-old David Knobling and 14-year-old Robin Edwards washed up on the bank of the James River. Both had been shot in the head. Robin, execution style, and David in the shoulder and the back of the head. However, Robin had been raped. Then 25-year-old Brian Pettinger goes missing on December 4th, 1987. His body is found on February 3rd, 1988 in the James River with his hands and ankles tied. They said he was, quote, hog-tied. We're going to put on concealer. This is NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum. And I use a brush. Because our eyes are delicate and they have the fine lines, you want to make sure that you put the concealer in those fine lines. Don't forget your eyelids. 18-year-old Lori Powell Compton was found in the James River on April 2nd, 1988, after disappearing on March 8th, 1988. She had multiple stab wounds in her back. April 10th, 1988, Cassandra Haley and 20-year-old Keith Call went missing. Their vehicle was found the same day with their clothing, along with Keith's wallet and Cassandra's purse. Their bodies have never been recovered. 29-year-old Teresa Howell went missing on July 1st, 1989. She was found just 7 hours later, raped and strangled. On September 5th, 1989, 21-year-old Daniel Lauer's vehicle is found at a rest stop on I-64 in New Kent County. He had been with 18-year-old Anna Maria Phelps. Her purse was still in the car. Their bodies were found on October 19th, 1989, in a wooded area about a mile from the rest stop, wrapped in a heating blanket. Those are just the confirmed cases. There's still many more that are possibilities. There are still numerous possible additional victims. These cases went unsolved for decades. The reason for that is because evidence collection in the late 80s is not what it is today. DNA testing was in its infancy. And when cases stretch across counties, communication can fracture. I want to pivot for a moment and talk about skincare. After all, this is about vanity too. Let's talk about something that also accumulates quietly, and that's sun damage. UVA rays penetrate deeply into the skin. You don't see them, you don't feel them, but they break down collagen over time. By the time you notice them, you have sagging or fine lines. That damage has been building for years, just like these cases. The Colonial Parkway murders weren't one explosive headline. They were slow, they were patterned, and they were quiet. Law enforcement worked tirelessly, but the cases spanned jurisdictions: Virginia State Police, local counties, federal involvement at some points. And when evidence is scattered, coordination becomes everything. I'm going to show you what I use. Mascara. I use a primer. I haven't bought the Tarte yet, but this is Essence Lash Primer. I may have showed you this before, but if you're new here, and this is Benefits Bad Gal Bang, and I love it. and you literally have to have like a oil-based primer or oil-based cleanser to get it off. Over the years, multiple suspects were considered. Some were ruled out. Some theories faded. The cases remained unsolved. Families were waiting, and that's important because behind every case, there's a real person. Yet they continued their research for decades. Literal decades. I mean, this happened in 1986 to 1989, and it paid off. In January of 2024, DNA match came back to Alan Wilmer Sr. He was a fisherman and an avid hunter, and his DNA matched every victim. But Alan passed away in 2017 at the age of 63. So he was never charged with those murders. So did the family get justice for any of that? I don't know. But it makes you realize that you need to pay attention, recognize patterns, and not ignore early signs, at least in our skin. But I don't think there was any early signs for these victims. I think this Alan Wilmer, he approached them probably as a kind person, just a stranger. As we did in the 80s, we talked to everybody. We didn't think anybody was harmful. We didn't think anybody was going to hurt us. And I'm sure that's how they felt too. You know, I was 16 to 19 in those years. And I don't know if I was just living in my own world, but I don't remember hearing anything about these cases. And when I talked to my mom, she didn't either. That's kind of scary. Did they get enough attention? Did these cases get enough attention? They're getting them now. It's too late now. Anyways, the Colonial Parkway murders are still considered one of the most haunting series in Virginia today. With good reason. I mean, and how many more victims are there that they just don't know about? I mean, 2 of them weren't even found. If you live in Virginia, you know that stretch of highway. You've probably been down that stretch of highway. It carries so much history. More history than I realized anyway. Protect your peace. Protect your skin. Pay attention to those patterns. Well, besties, this has been a particularly graphic case for us. But for you true crime junkies, I hope you enjoyed it. I've linked all my products in my bio. And if you want more Virginia true crime cases, Hit like and subscribe. I'm Cece. Stay beautiful. Stay aware. And don't forget to take your makeup off tonight.